say it again just in case anyone came in late. We have slips of paper up here where you can say if you want to put your name in to maybe be a guest for one of our 2 episodes and with a topic, so your name and a topic to talk about. And then we also have slips up here to ask us any questions or for any topic ideas like a this or that question, philosophical quandaries, atheist questions, nerd questions. We'll field anything at all. And then also in lieu of buttons and stickers this year, we have this ribbon kills fascists, anti-fascist ribbon. Please display it proudly if that's your bag. I hope it's your bag.
If you are under 40, we will explain it to you if you would like.
Yeah, right.
A lot of great ideas.
Nikki Armstrong. So that'll be
our second episode.
But honestly, like guys, we're gonna these are really these are all really nice.
Yeah. so if you want to give us your contact information,
if you want to give us your contact information,
maybe bring in because the thing is that we've been recording for over 600 episodes now, and to say that we've run out of ideas is an understatement.
We ran out of ideas like 150 episodes ago.
There's always new stuff to talk about, but also it makes it easier for us to keep going with participation, right?
So
when it's a bi-directional thing, it just makes it easier for us a lot.
At the end, if you are interested in coming to our house or doing a Zoom or something, let us know.
Yeah, we're all for it.
People who put in topics. If the rest of you are like, what? That wasn't on the cards. Ha ha! Too bad.
And we've got a bunch of great
topic.
Our first episode is we're gonna go through all the questions.
Yeah.
We got a lot of great ones, so thank you very much for those. It's gonna be fantastic.
These are gonna be fast episodes because we got to do 2 of them in 55 minutes.
Welcome to Geeks Without God. We are recording live at CONvergence 2024. I'm your host, Nick Glover. I'm joined, as always, by my co-hosts, Molly Glover and Tim Wick.
That's literally
CONvergence in a nutshell.
That's literally what I was going to do.
30 seconds.
That's true. Us nerds do love saying the same jokes. We have solicited our wonderful audience for some guests and guest topics and some Q&A and some questions. Our first episode for CONvergence, we're going to go through some of these great questions we got from everyone. Some folks identified themselves, some did not, and we'll go through them and maybe we'll get a chance to have you ask us some more questions at the end when we go through these.
Yeah, we'll get through as many as we can. Yeah.
All right. Great. All right. So our first question here is, how do you cope with family that loves religion? Lol. And there are hearts around love, so it's. I want to emphasize that they really love religion. Boy,
So I don't have any family members that are really into it at all, and you have Lutherans and
Lutheran ministers,
but
a number of them.
They're the Minnesotan kind that it's just that's their business. They don't really it's not funny.
They're out there, performing gay marriages the first month it was legal and stuff like that. So I mean they're religious but benign.
No, we don't see them that often because it's extended family.
Right.
They're religious but not awful.
Yeah. They're reasonable folks.
What about you, Tim? What about do you have cousins and stuff?
A lot. There are actually my mother, who recently passed away, was Catholic and very, very devout. And she and I had plenty of conversations about religion, and she was always very accepting of who I was and what I believed, as I was accepting of who she was and what she believed. So that was pretty good. Actually, some of my aunts and cousins and uncles are more religious, and we don't really we get along super well.
Catholic religious, or
actually, most of them are Protestant. They aren't super creepy Protestant, but they are Protestant. And we really don't talk religion. We talk everything else. So it works out okay. So I don't have a family member that I can say I really have that kind of issue with.
I have friends and people in my life that are, pretty religious, and I think it kind of comes down to, how much does their love of their religion and how they participate in it and how it shapes their beliefs, like something that's in direct conflict to my core values, right? So if their love for the religion is just like the enthusiasm for a fandom or something like that, and maybe it's good for them and it's not really hurting me and they're not actively proselytizing and trying to convert me, then I treat it like if someone comes up to you and they want to talk to you about like an anime that you're just not familiar with, and you're like, oh yeah, then what happened in One Piece?
Have you heard a good word about Lord Luffy?
And you can like kind of politely like, you know, not indulge them, but kind of indulge them and let them squee about the thing that they're excited about. But then this next question is kind of segues perfectly.
I know. I just wanted to say that for me, it's a little bit like, you know, somebody telling you about their D&D character that they love.
Yeah. But then the very next question, and that was from Bree. The next question we have from Ryan is, how do you talk to a religious family that are pushy? And so I think that's kind of like the other side of the same coin, right? If you have a family that's very, very enthusiastic about religion and they love religion, but it does have a negative impact on you, then I think maybe it's time to start setting some boundaries, right? Like, I don't know, how do you guys do that?
Nobody has the right to be shitty to you. I don't care what they believe. So if someone is treating you badly, it doesn't, just because they're related to you, they also do not have the right to do that. And that is something that's really hard in a lot of families. My family thinks that they can just be that they can be mean to me, they can be mean to each other, and I won't put up with it, and now I'm the stick in the mud because I don't get jokes. I don't know if you guys know that about me, but I don't get jokes, and I'm not funny, because I don't like being abused by a narcissist, I guess, so, but no, like, just, I think really, you push back, because people who push, that is the only thing they really respect, is being pushed in turn, and then they'll be like, oh wow, okay, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, I think boundaries are super important, and if people won't if people will not respect your boundaries, I realize that this can be very difficult for some people, but there is a difference between your family and your chosen family, right?
Right.
And I think that you really need to think about sometimes going, I don't need to associate with this person. I found the block tool on Facebook super useful. And it's not even about people that I don't like. It's about people that I'm like, nope, I don't like interacting with you in this environment, and I will interact with you in person. But this environment is bad. It's bad for you. It's bad for me. Let's stop.
Yeah.
And finding a way to say that in a way that isn't really attacking can be difficult. And sometimes, if you don't want to associate with that person anymore, you can go further. But I think what
kill them.
Yeah. You heard it here, folks. Geeks Without God condones murder.
Yeah. We are giving out ribbons that kill fascists. So
I mean that's important. You don't owe anyone that window into your life and that participation, and you know, unfortunately, it's kind of up to you to set those boundaries, and that can be difficult.
Yeah, especially with family.
Practice maybe with small boundaries first, and work your way up.
Yeah.
If that's something that's not comfortable to you.
Yeah, I think a good lesson. My wife, her mom is what's the word? Pain in the ass. And what Pat has really done is over the years set very clear boundaries about interaction with her mom, and that is not something that is instant, but setting boundaries and enforcing them is really the best way to make it work. If you are not willing to face this boundary, then the consequence is we don't spend time together.
Yep. Had to do a lot of that kind of boundary setting ever since January 6th, 2020
Yeah.
or so.
Oh, is that one?
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. Our next question is from our upcoming guest, Nikki Armstrong. What are your thoughts on other religions, besides Christianity, and then it says secular or non-secular?
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I really feel like, I don't really feel, so it's hard because Christianity is the dominant religion in America, and that is where I've always lived and spent pretty much all of my time. 99.9% of my time is in the United States of America, and that is, you know, what we are experiencing all the time. So other religions feel they are minorities here, and that it makes, there's a different category now, right? Because now we're not talking about, you know, the dominant culture and the people in power. We are sharing something in our minority status. So I don't respect any religion. I think all religions are equally just dumb. I mean, they're fine, they're comfort, people, whatever they do, as long as you're not bothering me, I really don't give a fuck what you do with your life. But I think that Christianity we have to work harder against because it's trying to get into our government. And our government is trying to turn Christo-fascist. They're not trying to turn Judeo-fascist. They're not trying to turn Islamo-fascist. They are specifically trying to push a Christian agenda. So that's why I think it's more important that we talk against that and we talk about how to work through that as a country.
Yeah, it's kind of that thing like you racism, the word itself implies like a power structure at play, right? You can't be racist against white people, you can discriminate against white people. Molly can, she's special.
I'm really good
She's special. But because there's a power dynamic at play, right? And because Christianity is a dominant part of our culture, the rules are a little bit different,
yeah.
Right? And so the reason we talk about it the most is it's what is impacting us.
Yeah, if we were in a predominantly Muslim country, we probably would be talking more about Islam. But I mean, on the very basic level, if I'm honest, and hello, I guess I'll be honest today. Somebody asked me what do I think about other religions, including Christianity and so on. I think they're wrong. I just do. Now that doesn't mean I hate people who believe in them or I don't understand why they believe in them. I get where all of it comes from, but if I'm honest, what do I think? I think they're all wrong. And further, I think they are dangerous because I believe that they are controlled not by a deity, but by very fallible and dangerous human beings.
Word.
Right. Yeah.
Word.
Right. Our
Next question.
next one. Many years ago, this is from Michael, a Gallup poll claimed that atheists were more hated than LGBTQ plus persons.
Yes.
What do you think?
We're number one.
Are we still number one most hated? I just like at its face before answering the question. I'm not a big fan of like the oppression Olympics where it's like we have it bad. Oh yeah, well we have it worse. Well
you
like
have a house, must be nice. Oh, you have a roof, must be nice. Like
right, like it's this is good for like empathy building, right, and not for figuring out who's the most oppressed person or anything because it's not atheists. I think it's probably easier for a queer person to get elected to office in the most places, in some places.
A Christian queer person.
A Christian queer person. or maybe even a religious queer person.
An outwardly,
Then it would be an atheist. But in terms of, like, danger to your everyday life, personal well-being, the risk of just being who you are on the street, I'm not getting killed for being an atheist. I'm not getting killed for having an atheist t-shirt or something like that.
I don't go on a date and they find out I'm an atheist, so they murder me.
Right.
They murder me because I'm a woman.
Yeah. Yeah, from my perspective as a cisgender, hetero, white male, I appreciate being a minority of something.
Tim thought long and hard. He was like, what could I do? I know, I'll renounce God.
Yeah.
Timmy's on this list. I absolutely agree. It's just, it isn't, I used to say, like, there was a time when they would say, who would you rather leave your child with? Somebody who had been convicted of felony murder but had gotten out of jail, or an atheist, and like more people picked the murderer because they thought that at least then they knew the murderer had received like moral instruction in jail or whatever. And it's just like, we're just considered like baseless, absolutely like it's just crazy. But that's gotten a lot better as there have been more and more people, especially the younger generations, Gen Z and the young millennials who are moving further and further away from religion in droves, and I think that's driving a lot of it.
Yeah, well, I think things are generally heading in the right direction for everyone, despite what like the culture war zeitgeist would have you think. But I think actively right now, if you're paying attention to the news at all, there are like a couple specific groups of people who are really getting gunned for, like unfortunately, literally and figuratively. So
and it's not us.
Yeah, right, absolutely. Are some people atheist by temperament, just born that way? I seem to be, says the question asker. Or do people mostly decide to be atheist as they grow up?
It's a good question.
I
Kind
know
of a nature nurture.
I know for me, I remember when it happened. I really do, because I was a very fervent. I have autism, and I was very hyperactive with my magical thinking as a kid. So the idea of Jesus was very awesome, just like vampires. There were rules, you could do stuff, there were symbols, loved it. And so I was very into, like, I fasted for Lent. I asked my mom if I could not eat so I could be like Jesus and get powers. And I'm not kidding. And but for real, but then I had these best friends who were both Jewish when I was 9 and 10, and my born again father told me that they were going to go to hell, and I was just like, fuck that. Like, no, in my little brain, I was just like, no, that doesn't make any sense. These are super cool guys. Like, they're my friends. And he was like, nope, they have to accept Jesus Christ, or they will burn in an eternal pit of fire. And I remember just going, like, nah, I don't like that. It's just, and so that was the beginning, but I can really feel that moment of it just being like, well, then this is all a lie. It's all a lie then, that's stupid.
I think, go ahead.
Sure. In the question of nature versus nurture, my parents were both raised Catholic. They were both Catholic. My father actually was at one time in the seminary to become a Catholic priest. Clearly that didn't take. But I don't remember a time, and I was confirmed in the Catholic Church, and I don't remember a time where God made sense to me.
Right.
I don't. Every time it came up, every time somebody said, well, God has a plan for you, I'd be like, what? What? Why?
Reveal it.
Can somebody let me know what it is? Anyway, so it just, for me, there was never a moment where I felt like God existed. It took me a long time to acknowledge that, I guess, but I don't think I ever bought it.
Yeah, I think there are certainly people that it never catches on for them. Like, they might be raised in a religious household and they participate in things culturally, but like in their mind they're just like, this is just a thing we do. We're just going through the motions here, and they just never believe. Maybe because of who they are, maybe because of how they were raised. I think it's really impossible to say. But I think there are certainly people that are just innately, for whatever reason, just don't believe. And then I think there are people that come around to it. And then I think there are people that have their faith shattered, which can be like a really hard thing and a really devastating thing. And there's like a period of mourning where they have that loss.
Yeah, Mark Lazarchuk, I remember we had him on a podcast, and he was a very devout Catholic until his daughter got cancer. And he was like...
She was like 8.
Yeah, he's like, what? How can there be a God if kids can get cancer? And it was a shattered moment. His faith was just completely broken at that moment.
I am one of those people that has a tendency toward believing. I always have. It's true.
It's called gullibility.
It is. And, for real, I am the kid that fell for the word gullible is into the dictionary joke or whatever, right? And so I think there are people who, like me, who are susceptible to belief, and some of us turn to, I don't know, science fiction and fantasy, and we turn that excitement to things like tarot cards and like the idea that maybe like we could do, we like just think about spells, and we like the idea of witchcraft, but maybe we don't believe it really does anything. And then some people take it a step further and make it their religion, and then other people go to Jesus. I think it's kind of all over the place. But some people are, you're born with a more skeptical, logical nature. That's not me by nature. I have to work for that. I get hypnotized by commercials. I will all of a sudden be like, I really want to go to Burger King. Nick's like, why? I'm like, I don't know. Then we'll realize I saw a sign.
It's true. Or she'll be like, you know what? Let's go do this thing. And I'll be like, did you see an advertisement for that on Facebook? It's like, well,
I think so.
Yeah, actually, now that you mention it, maybe. It's great. All right, our next question from Gordo. Why do we die? Is it a bug or a feature? Something or designed obsolescence? I think it is decay.
Yeah.
Got it. I think it is sort of by design, in a sense, in that death is beneficial to like diversity in life, right? If you're talking about like evolution and how life has created and prospered and spread and adapted, death is a useful part of that process to improve and to create diversity in life and mutation and survival of the fittest and all that jazz. So like, it's a feature.
Yeah, if
for
we didn't,
sure.
if we
Like,
didn't die, we wouldn't be here.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, like, I'm sorry,
So,
but we wouldn't. None
like,
of us would be here.
Yeah. Like, I know that's not like a super funny answer, but like I think that's pretty. My non-professional, uneducated knowledge on evolution seems to back that up. I would Google it and not believe a word I said.
I guess the answer is if we didn't die, overpopulation would be even more of a problem than it already is.
That's what I'm saying. Like the planet
Yeah.
would have, resources would have ceased to exist a long time ago if we didn't die. Like it would be impossible. Because like
So
think of all the times that a giant plague swept through. I mean, I know there's a recent one, but think of all the times that a giant plague swept through and like really truly, halved the population, of the earth and things. Imagine if none of that had killed anybody. Everyone just, stayed there and then continued to have lots and lots of kids because birth control wasn't really all that good yet. Like there's no way.
Well,
There's no
then
way.
there's all the life that comes from death, and the classic example you'll always hear is like how jack pines don't grow, their pine cones don't open until there's been a forest fire that's come through. So like a necessary part of their life cycle as a tree is for the forest to burn down and for things to die so that it can regrow and that cycle of life can continue in that ecosystem. So all these ecosystems are dependent on death.
Also, I'm not suicidal at all. Please understand that. I don't wish to die. But like, based on how my knees feel this weekend, please let me die someday. I consider that's a feature. Like that sounds,
right.
It sounds nice. There's going to be a point where I know I'm going to be ready to go.
Our next one. How has your fandom or nerddom affected your mental health for the better?
So this is one of the things I'm a huge nerd about is horror books. I read a lot of horror. It's probably 60% of what I read, and I read about 100 books a year. I feel that it helps me a lot because reading horror is one of the ways as a teenager that I kind of felt like I have bipolar disorder, and I have one of the things for that is I have spiraling dark thoughts when I get manic. And so reading horror actually helped me to realize that like the things I'm thinking are things other people have not only just thought but written down in a book. And so like it's almost like a release of that is to read the scary, horrible thing, and then I can almost be like, haha, that was a fun book. I don't have to like obsess about it. And yeah, I think that there's a lot to be said for the catharsis that comes with something that's really scary or something that's really funny when it comes to your mental health.
I was just trying to think of a good example, a specific example. The first thing that came to mind was in the Stormlight Archive series of books, one of the protagonists is a guy, Kaladin. He deals with serious depression, seeing, it was the first time I read someone else's internal monologue or saw into their head with someone that had depression, where I was like, maybe not as bad as this guy, but I really saw the way I think about things in a non-productive, self-destructive, spiraling sense, where it's you can kind of get trapped in your own head and how depression will protect itself and perpetuate and prevent you from dealing with it, right? And the character goes through a lot of that over the series of the books, and it gets really dire at a few points. But I have to admit that seeing it in that was yeah, I get, okay, that's nice to see, and
he's okay, I'll be okay.
Yeah, I don't see myself in a lot of media or identify with a lot of media that I enjoy, even when it does represent me. And it was just neat to have that in a moment where it clicked for me that way.
We are very close, we picked two quick ones.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll do a quick answer.
Yeah.
As somebody who, shocker, is a little bit neurodivergent, I find that being a nerd, being a fan, is an avenue to being social in ways that sometimes make me uncomfortable, because with a bunch of other fans and nerds, there's typically something we can all talk about that we all relate to, which often can lead to other things that we relate to, but at least we have a starting point that's a little less uncomfortable.
All right, these are going to be quicker questions.
We got
'cause
two
they're pretty-
two last ones.
All right,
We're
all
gonna go through
right.
it.
Blue.
What's your current favorite or recommended anime or cartoon show?
There's an anime or cartoon that you like to watch?
Something animated.
I like Spy Family, and it grew on me a lot. I didn't like it at first, and it really grew on me. And the movie was great.
We're watching My Adventures with Superman on Max, which is a incredibly fucking wholesome Superman cartoon. Lois Lane is like very prominent. Jimmy Olsen's very prominent. Diverse and great casting, good interpretations of the character. Mr. Mixelplixik looks like a fucking anime imp guy. Like it's all done in a kind of an anime style. And if you can kind of get over that and get on board, it's a fucking great show. It's really good. Yeah.
The Harley Quinn show.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes.
I dig that. It's
So
fun.
good.
Harley Quinn, the animated series.
And
All
last
right.
question?
What is your comfort food fandom from your childhood?
Comfort food fandom from your childhood.
Oh, I got an answer for this, and
What
it's
is it?
gross, but it's real. I love sour things, and sometimes when I'm just really in the mood for something weird,
Fandom.
I have fandom.
Like your comfort food fandom.
Oh, never mind. We won't talk about
Like
food
the
anymore.
thing that you liked as a kid that you still like because it makes you feel like a kid again.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Thank you for explaining
Yes,
the
you're
question
welcome.
to me. It's because
You're
I'm
welcome.
old and adult.
See, you were like, it's gross, and then I'm like, uh-oh, we're going a long time.
Star Wars.
Star Wars? Yeah. Indiana Jones. That was my favorite thing as a kid. I wanted to be Indiana Jones so bad.
That too.
Yeah.
I can't. This is tricky. I don't know. I mean, like Star Wars comes to mind first, but
We watched, we're about to riff a movie.
Oh shit. Okay, yeah. I don't know if it's a fandom, but the movie The Last Dragon or bad kung fu movies in general are something I used to watch with my dad as a kid a lot, and so like bad, like dubbed poorly, but like with good action from like the 80s. I want to say like 83 to 89 or so is just this period of time where we got just delicious trash. And we're gonna actually riff some of that delicious trash in Cinema Rex at 2 p.m. with The Last Dragon. Yeah. Plug. Those are our questions from you all. Thank you so much for your participation and helping us make this episode. That's great. Let's one more time. We're here live at CONvergence 2024. Thanks everybody.
Save this, and then we'll bring Nikki up on stage.
Thanks everyone, those were great questions. I'm sorry we didn't get to two. We will read them on upcoming episodes of Geeks Without God. The
that's
two
a
that we
great
didn't
idea.
get to, we'll answer them there. Hot behind the scenes action for all you Geeks Without God fans out there. Normally we're sitting
Nikki,
at
I
a
just-
table in our house.
Thank you for doing my suggestion. I'm excited to talk about this.
You're very welcome. And yeah, everybody's microphone is working, and
All right.
I'm recording the episode for people to listen to later. Congratulations.
Who's hosting this one?
I'm hosting this one.
Slick.
Yeah.
This is a good topic.
All right, ready?
So
Well, God damn it. Welcome to Geeks Without God. I'm your host, Molly Glover, and we are live at CONvergence 2024. I am joined here in this room by my co-hosts, Nick Glover
Snicked.
and Tim Wick.
bam!
And we have a guest drawn from the audience from topics people suggested. And our guest is Nikki Armstrong.
Hi, everyone.
Now, Nikki, the topic you put down is you would like to talk about sizeism as the unrecognized prejudice in cons and cosplay. And now, this is I'm very into this topic because I think that there's something that infrastructure of even just this hotel overlooks is just people with larger bodies. There are so many chairs that are just uncomfortable or nearby almost impassable for people who have anything larger than like a size 12 body, which is crazy. Like it is beyond to me how we just don't see that as a part of ableism in this country.
I could not agree more. Just a little bit of my background. During my master's program, I was a fat activist. So I've taken back ownership of the word fat.
Hell yes.
And I don't see it as a negative thing. And so but I also appreciate that not everybody else is on my journey. So while I would never call anybody else fat out of respect for them, I don't take offense to it, but everywhere else does.
Yeah, it's pretty astonishing how often people will say like, "Oh, you're not fat," when somebody I know
You're pretty.
Or even like, "Oh, but you're not that big," and it's like, why is this an issue? Like, I'm just saying I'm fat. Why do you need to take that away from me?
Nikki, you and I, we both are fat cosplayers. Per my own preferences, I tend to cosplay to my body type a bit. Within, you know, within, it doesn't have to be perfect, right? I don't have to be perfect, but like I tend to, that just because that's my comfort level, and that's, I don't know, the accuracy that's important to me in a nonsense way that's only for me and no one else. You have a different philosophy in your cosplays.
Especially this year with it being everybody's included, I wanted to prove that meant everybody's included to do whatever cosplay they want to do, regardless of race, gender, or body type.
Yeah.
So this whole con, I've been doing what I've been calling Fat Girl Does Skinny Cosplay. So yesterday I was Lilu. On Thursday I was Jessica Rabbit. Tomorrow I'm going to be Sookie Stackhouse. And today I'm obviously
Kim Possible.
Kim Possible.
And on the Ville stage last night, you did the Lilu costume, and it was so good. I know, I'm just saying, like, it was so great to see. And when you walked out, I heard people go, "Oh, hell yeah!" Like, I literally, like, I could hear this like wave from the audience of like, "Fuck yes!" And so that really just reinforces that, especially here at CONvergence, people want it. People are ready to see this fat liberation, and not only that, but this like. Liberation of our ideas of whether or not fat people are allowed to show their bodies, right? That's, you know, my cousins, my whole family went on a trip, and I'm not a fat person, but I am also not an extremely skinny person. I have a lot of muscle on my body, and I was wearing a bikini, and my aunt was like, "I love that you're just so brave and willing to just wear that bikini with it all hanging out." And I turned to my cousins and I'm like, "Listen to me. Don't listen to her. Like, you wear whatever the fuck you want." And it's like, they're like, "Thanks." And like, you know, it is so pervasive, especially with people who are socialized as women from the 90s and earlier, I feel like, which is a lot of our mothers, which is a lot of our aunts, which is a lot of our grandmothers. And so I think that this generation, you know, late Gen X, early millennial, and forward is really going to do some really good groundbreaking work. Yeah.
I think I wanted to just insert here. If anybody has been watching Bridgerton season 3, the lead, Nicola Coughlan, is a larger individual.
She's fat.
Yeah.
She describes
there you
herself
go.
as fat.
She describes herself
With
as
perfect breasts.
Yeah. And then I was going to say, somebody asked her, asked her something about, how brave it was for her to do a nude scene.
People with her body, with her
people
type of body.
People with her type of body, and she said, "I'm glad you bring this up. That I did this nude scene with perfect breasts, and I was able to show for everybody with perfect breasts that it is okay
as a woman
to show
with
them
perfect
all."
breasts. Yes, I felt very seen. It was really good.
The things I've seen in response to that too have been people talking about like the acceptability of a mixed body type relationship being shown, which is fucking hilarious considering there's like this well-established trope in American television of like fat husband smoking hot wife. I'm living the dream, don't get me wrong. but like, I mean, like the Honeymooners, the Flintstones, the Simpsons, Family Guy, and like no one is bringing this up. No one is making that point. No one's talking about it.
Everybody loves Raymond.
It's only an issue when she's fat, and then all of a sudden we need to have a conversation about it. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah. I have actually seen, Nikki, when you posted that you were doing ribbons, Fat Girl Does Skinny Cosplay was your ribbon. There were a lot of people on that thread that were very excited. And since then, I feel like I've seen more and more people describing themselves using the word fat in a positive way, saying like, "I'll be the fat girl wearing this if you want to come find me for this." And I think that is really inspiring. I'm looking forward to I don't know. It really bothers me when people don't think about other people. I have this like weird sense of justice, and I get really black and white about it. And it really fucking makes me mad when people act like they are the only person that ever exists in terms of every part of their self, right? Like, oh, if I'm short, no one who's tall needs to think about. I don't need to think about people who are tall. If I'm tall, vice versa. If I'm fat, if I'm skinny, you know. And so, but I think people very often just don't think about people who are fat and who need like to be seen in having a serious, like, I'm here, like, pay attention to me, like, don't pretend that this isn't a secret, you know, we don't have to be ashamed. I'm not trying to pretend you're not fat, like, it's, I don't know. I look forward to seeing more fat liberation on TV. I'm hoping that it's a trend for 2024.
Nikki, do you know, or in the audience too, do you guys know about Cake plus size in South Minneapolis? You familiar with it?
I've heard of it a little bit.
Okay. It's a thrift or you know, secondhand clothes shop in the kind of like Nokomis area of South Minneapolis on Bloomington, and they are just plus size. They have an incredibly like positive like fat liberation philosophy to everything they do. They are mostly like femme presenting clothes, so it's not super for me, but I absolutely like love their what they're doing, and they're a great follow on like Instagram and stuff like that. But they do an event every summer where they do like a fat swim day where they rent out a huge private pool like party area, and it's like fat people and their friends and their loved ones, and it's just like everyone can wear whatever swimsuit they want, as revealing as they want or don't want, without worrying about like any sort of a judgment. And also, like, not to say that it needs to be private or it needs to be hidden, but like some people just aren't comfortable with that in public, and they want to establish a space where they are comfortable doing that and they feel supported. And so that's what they're doing, is they're creating that space. They're kind of like taking it into their own hands and making the space for themselves, which is very activist in nature.
And I love that call out, and that kind of harkens back to one of the things I wanted to discuss in regards to sizeism though, is also unless you develop mad sewing skills, being able to do fat girl skinny cosplays are insanely difficult because or expensive because they just don't make the clothes in your size.
Yeah.
So the example was, I really wanted to do Gabrielle from Xena this year. I was dying to do, it's still on my to-do list. But I would have to pay to have the corset custom made, the skirt custom made. Everything would have to be custom made, because if you go online and look up Gabrielle costume, your choices are small, medium, or large.
Yeah.
None of those are going to fit on my 300-pound body.
Yeah, I definitely, the vast majority of my costume skills, you know, meager as they are in some areas, are out of necessity, like because I've had to make things for myself. Like the boon of a 3D printer is that I can take files that other people have made and scale them up and print them bigger. And I can do test prints that are shittier quality to make sure it fits me, and then print a higher quality one once I've hit the right size. I can't do that with sewing the same way. I can't go into a store and just try stuff on all the time, because you know, I'll have to settle for an all brown bathrobe of this material and not the material I want, because I'm not going to sew a bathrobe, but also that's the one that's in 5XL.
I will say it was really fucking frustrating. That really nice I Am Knuff sweatshirt that was all like fleecy and good only went up to size 2XL. So like, what message is that, right? Like the whole point was that everyone's accepted and yeah. And then Run the Jewels, which is a rap group we love, has a dude who is Nick's size. His name is Killer Mike. He is not a small dude.
Killer Mike's like a 4 or 5XL guy.
Run the Jewels merchandise could not be worn by Killer Mike because it only goes up to 3X. 2X in some cases. So like there's two guys in the band, and one of them can't wear your own goddamn merchandise. You'd think they would be somebody who would be advocating and making sure that was possible, but it's really frustrating. I like to keep a list of companies I know that can like go up in size, so I can find Nick gifts and like surprise them with stuff, and it sucks to have that big a problem.
Well, even then, when you do find clothes that will fit you, you're paying a premium because the audience is smaller, because of more material, because it's a specialized market and you can just gouge people.
It's the last one because I always say I'm waiting for the day where I can join the Walmart class action sizes lawsuit, where when you go from XL to 2X, they charge you $2 to $4 more, but small to XL are all the same sizes.
That's fucked up.
And so it's not a more material thing. You can't give me the more material thing because there is more material between a small and an XL than there is between an XL and a 2X.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. There's, and I don't know how much it is as much for women or like femme plus size clothing. For men, you got DXL, you got shitty stuff on Amazon that's probably lying about the size, or it's not American large sizes, it's Chinese large sizes. Or there's kingsize.com where your quality is going to be a real fucking mix of absolute trash that's falling apart and something that's like mediocre, and some of their stuff is super cheap and some of their stuff is super expensive, and I've never figured out why.
Go ahead, Tim.
Sorry,
I did just find a clothing brand though called One Bone, which is like, it's a bit expensive, but it's super fucking high quality. I'm not wearing any of it right now because I have costume clothes, but they do their own sizing. They get rid of the XL shit. They just have, here, take your measurements, get your letter, that's your pants. But if you watch Letterkenny or Shorzy, the guy that plays Jean-Jacques, Francois, Jacques Jean,
JJ Frankie
JJ, he's wearing their clothes in Shorzy, and he's one of their models. I saw him on their website, and I was like, I know that motherfucker. And like, their stuff has been great for me. It's expensive, but it like is durable.
Yeah.
You know, I think the perspective that I can lend to this as somebody who's not very fat, is I was actually much heavier, and then I got diagnosed with diabetes and made a lot of lifestyle changes to hopefully not die before I was 70. So now I wear a large, but there was a time where I wore a 2XL, and you know, it was like, wow, my clothes are cheaper, and anything I want, I can find. I can find anything in a large. The only issue is that there are a lot of people that buy large, so sometimes it sells out, which, you know what, first world problem.
I think, Tim, you're raising a thing that is good to address. When people talk about like fat, it's like you fall outside of the bell curve for like regular size folks, where the world is built for the people that fall within like the standard deviation, right?
Everything from chairs to cars.
And if you're out, and if you can be fat or overweight or whatever and still fit within that standard deviation of sizing where the world is still kind of made for you. I don't want to be gatekeepy, but like the people that fall within that range are kind of sometimes referred to by fat liberation folks as skinny fat, if you've heard the term. And so usually when we're talking about like fat people's problems, fat people clothing stuff, the obstacles we face, we're not talking about folks that are skinny fat. And that's not like a gatekeepy exclusionary thing. It's because the difficulties and the obstacles are very different, even though there's absolutely some shared societal pressure and challenges to address.
So, Nikki, what can we do here at CONvergence? This is your third CONvergence, so you're relatively new to it, which means you have fresh perspective, and you're not, you don't have all the baggage of like the way it was before, or the way it's always been. So like, what can we do that you see that you're like, I would love to see this?
There's a handful of them. With like the chairs in this room, I'd love it if they were just like 2-3 inches apart from each other, because I feel like I'm giving the person sitting next to me a lap dance. They're very comfortable, but like up here we have a couple of inches between us. I feel like I have some breathing room there and I don't have to take over 2 chairs. I think recognizing when you're seeing somebody who is doing something you might consider brave, I'm putting air quotes there, but you can't see when you're listening to this. It's jarring to me when people say, you're so brave to be wearing that. No, I'm wearing this because I fucking kill it. Like, I look hot. I don't care what you say. Instead, which is what I'm getting more and more of, is rock on, or that's an awesome cosplay. That's reaffirming that what I'm doing is acceptable versus I'm so brave, meaning should I be doing that?
Right.
And also, if you don't like the way somebody looks in it, keep that to yourself. I've had a handful of people tell me I should pull down my shirt, and I can't figure out if it's because I've got a big belly or because they're telling everybody who's showing their midriff they need to pull down their shirt. But I'm pretty sure it's the first one.
It's not the second one. Fuck that, man.
I can't
That's
believe, yeah.
Yeah. I think that, and the programming thing with the chairs, I think, is such a really good point, because that's such a small, actionable thing that could be done, but I guarantee is the person setting them up isn't thinking about that at all.
The hotel, I mean,
I know, but they're thinking about maximizing space,
Totally.
not maximizing space for people. Yeah.
Maximizing numbers, not comfort or accommodation.
Like airplanes.
Jesus fucking Christ. I don't even want to talk about airplanes. It's so upsetting. As someone who's been coming to CONvergence longer, I think the culture's headed in the right direction. I think you see it in the programming, you see it in the participation and who's participating, you see it in how people are reacting to the people that are participating more. There's been a culture shift, things going in the right direction, which is hopeful and promising. Because it wasn't, I don't want to look at how things are and say it's perfect or great or anything, but compared to how it was, there has been really significant progress. I don't see people that are oh, it's Fat Han Solo, oh, it's Fat Leia, oh, it's just, oh well, Han Solo, awesome.
I will tell you, the love I get here surpasses the love I've gotten at any other convention I've gone to where I've tried to wear more revealing cosplays. They don't go over as well as they do here. Especially, I don't know if any of you guys caught Nerdless yesterday.
Oh yeah?
75% of the performers were bigger girls, and they killed it.
Honestly,
every single bit.
I would say like 75% of our burlesque scene here in Minnesota is bigger, curvier girls. There's very few really skinny burlesque dancers that I've ever seen, frankly. So you mentioned that Gabrielle is a dream cosplay. What other cosplays do you have on your what are you setting your sights on? Maybe there are some makers and some sewers in this room who are like, I want to do that. I'll help you make that.
So, I mean, I wouldn't mind doing Xena as the offshoot. The one that I really want to do, but the hardest part is that all of her iconic looks are hard to just pull off because they're normal looks, but my favorite TV show, even though the creator's problematic, is Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah.
So I'd love to do a good Buffy. The problem is I don't think because of my bigger body I would ever read as Buffy. I would read as a girl in leather pants.
Sure. Yeah, no, I know that as I'm getting older too, I'm finding that I can't decide if I should be not worrying about the fact that I'm 46 when I want to cosplay Anya Folger, or if I want, or if is that weird? I'm 46 and she's 6. Is that weird? I don't want to make it like a sex thing, but or teenager characters. Sometimes there's a teenage character I would love to portray, but I feel like I am old. I look my age. I like to be in the sun. I am starting to get gray hair, and it is an interesting balance. As as Nick was saying, he feels so much more comfortable cosplaying things that match his not just your fatness, but your height.
Oh yeah,
and your beard and other things that you're like, I don't want to shave my beard.
I want to fucking shave my beard for costumes anymore. Unless it's a really fucking.
I don't want to cosplay a really big titted character. I tried once and it made me feel really weird because I don't know. So it's interesting to which things feel like you can subvert them, and like you're saying, if I'm trying to do Buffy, I just look like I'm in clothes, So how do we figure out the difference? Cosplay is so fascinating to me because there's ways you can do it where it's obvious. I mean, it's a whole fucking thing, and you're in a wig and all that stuff. And then there's more subtle, casual cosplays that I've been seeing around that are really great.
Anything that's really iconic and has some customization that you can do to make it instantly identifiable helps with that sort of thing. I think my true dream cosplays right now for what I shoot for are, as always and forever, the Brian Blessed's character from Flash Gordon with the wings and the suit. I get to keep the beard. It's an elaborate costume. I cannot make that costume to my standards, so I will never wear that costume because I can't afford that costume. But also, I think Balin's skull from Ahsoka. I feel like I've got his eyebrows and his beard in a similar head shape, and I think I could do that. Ray Stevenson's character, R.I.P. in pieces.
I want you to do a Zardoz costume.
Zed from
Zed from
Zardoz.
Zardoz, yeah. I think that would be very
The
good.
boots would be so fucking expensive.
I know, that's the only problem.
I wear a size 14. I can't find costume boots in my size anywhere.
Any last thoughts, Nikki, before we wrap up?
The other thing too is I want to point out that it's important to also recognize that this is my journey and this is my level of confidence, and that if there's other people out there who aren't brave enough, again, air quotes, that you can't see when you're listening to a recording, that is okay. Everyone has a right to be on their journey. So when people say, I'm not ready to be there yet, I completely respect that. But at the same time, if I am, then it's not their place to tell me I shouldn't be.
Hell yes.
Word.
Hell yes to that. Thank you so much. We have been here live at CONvergence 2024. Thank you so much, Nikki Armstrong. Nikki is in Vilification Tennis, where you can see her monthly at Strike Theater with us usually, and she often brings these very awesome cosplays and other kind of cool costumes to Vil, because I don't know if you guys know this, but we wear costumes every month on theme. It's a big deal. We have a lot of fun. Thank you for joining us. We've been Geeks Without God. You can always find us on Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, all that good stuff. If you've been listening, you've heard the spiel a million times. You can probably recite it back to me. Thank you and have a great CONvergence.
Bye.